Every car that rolls into your shop is more than just a repair, it's someone's lifeline. Now, what if every repair could also be a lifeline for someone in need? When you join Community Pay It Forward, a portion of each job can help a family, veteran, or nonprofit without costing your customer anything extra. With the Shop, Click, and Pick program, your shop keeps cars running. Let's keep communities running too. No one needs to go it alone when we all come together.
Warning, the brown cloud is approaching. Some will try to outrun it. Others may not be so lucky. But don't worry, it's all part of the fun at the Chili Cook-Off for books and board games. Where the chili is hot, the flavors are bold. And Bear E has your back with the official Brown Cloud Preparedness Kit. Follow the plan. Know your exits, and whatever you do, hold your breath, because this temporary pain is all for a great cause. Join us, laugh with us, survive the brown cloud, together at Key Largo Lounge in Greeley.
Join us November 8th at 11 a.m. for the 10th annual Chili Cook-Off for books and board games at our home field, Key Largo Lounge, where our small market team is making a huge statement. Scan the code for tickets and sponsorship information.
Hey friends, I've been thinking, we all have our strengths, right? There are things I'm great at and things I'm definitely not great at. I can talk to anyone, anywhere, but ask me to add something to a website or an app. Yeah, that's where things get a little messy. Oops, I love speaking, I love sharing stories. But social media, all those hashtags, algorithms, trends, that's a jungle I still haven't mapped out. Now, coming up with ideas that bring people together, that's my sweet spot. But bookkeeping, let's just say numbers, and I have agreed to stay in separate corners. And you know what? That's okay, because someone out there is good at those things. And when we work together, that's when the magic happens. Community Pay It Forward has never been about one person. It's a program built by many to support even more. Every single one of us brings something special to the table. We all have talents that make us strong on our own. But imagine how powerful we become when we combine them. That's the heart of Community Pay It Forward. Your skills, my skills, our hearts, working side by side to make a real difference. So tell me, what are you good at? Let's discover it together. Visit communitypayitforward.us and join the movement.
Into a real fight wasn't right. Where can she dream here? Took a hold of her life, left at night, stepping out of her fear. Bring me home, out of love.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Zach with Community Pay It Forward. Come together, Compass. Jesus. Impact Podcasting Networks. How you doing tonight? Hey, real quick, as you guys saw just a couple seconds ago, It is coming back. We're getting a head start on it. And yes, the chili cook-off is coming back. Chili cook-off for books and board games. I don't want this to be a Greeley, Colorado thing. I want this to be a world thing, okay? And our mission is very, very simple. We are going to take and we're going to collect books for hospitals, for the kids that are in hospitals, kids, teenagers, whatever. What we're looking to do is we're looking to get it for the regular hospitals that are out there, you know, just the everyday hospital. Not, and I know a lot of you guys have heard this before, so please just allow me to say this. And it's not that we do not like it's not that we do not like the children's hospital, but they get all the donations from everyone. We want to give to our everyday hospitals. So this year, our 10th anniversary at Key Largo Lounge, we are going to be celebrating by watching a little bit of that American gladiator sport, as they like to call it. You know, it's going to be Denver versus Carolina. I'm hoping that there will be a hockey game on that I get to watch on my laptop, like I always do. And we'll go from there. But you know what? Actually, I hope I'm too busy to be doing that. We are contemplating on doing a couple things. We're going to see how well it goes. But I'm looking to try to get up to 15 family style chilies, and then I would like to get, you know, up to 5, maybe 6 restaurant chilies, and have it to where, you know, we can have a restaurant division and they can cook it out for a championship, and you know, we do this right. But yeah, it's coming up November 8th. I know it's a day or two away, but you know what? Day or two away is, it tends to get here really quickly when you're not expecting it to get here. So, yeah, we're joining you a little bit early because here in about 43 minutes, it's Lynn's Day. That's right. Lynn's Day is coming up in about 43 minutes. Time for us to have a little bit of fun and enter into the interesting realm of the paranormal. I'll also be joined by Adrienne, my wife. She's going to be co-hosting and helping us navigate the things that I just don't quite know. I know Adrienne and Lynn have been talking a little bit about Lynn's journey into mediumship. My wife is a medium, and so they take and they have conversations and they go from there. So, but that's coming up in about 40 minutes. So until then, I brought you on so I can introduce you to something. These are called Whatcha Got, and it's something that we do every morning. The times vary. Okay, the times vary. I'm trying to get it to where it's one set time, but it's every morning, Monday through Sunday. We do record it on the weekends, and so it's happening on the weekends as well. But I would like to introduce you to today's I got rabbit hair in my mouth, I think. My dog's been up on the desk all day long. But anyway, this is Be a Millionaire Day. And so, of course, I called and we're featuring our dear friend, Wendy, the Financial Lion, who is the millionaire maker. So you'll understand what I'm saying when we do this. But this is today's What You Got. Good Lynn's Day morning, everyone. Today on What You Got, we're celebrating National Be a Millionaire Day. This is just one day a year when you can sip your morning coffee, and confidently say, I am basically wealthy because I added extra creamer. I'll take my soda, thank you. If you have ever felt like a millionaire just because you found forgotten money in your jeans, today is your holiday. We're talking about being a millionaire, what it means to you, and we're featuring someone who helps people build real finance, the millionaire maker herself, Wendy, the financial lion. She is here to help you understand money without fear and build a future that feels strong and secure. This morning on What You Got.
Hi, friends. It's me, Barry. Good morning. It is a great day to come together and ask the question, what you got?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Zak Clayton. I am the president and founder, Community Pay It Forward, the Come Together Compass, and pACT Podcasting Networks. This is our Dare to Care segment of the day, and we are talking about feeling rich, and not particularly because of money, but just because you feel fulfilled, I guess is a great way to put it. In my mind, I've been asked a couple times if I feel like I've been successful, and my company's mission is all about helping people. I am not rich financially. As a matter of fact, there's days I don't have $1 in my pocket, but every day I get to help someone. I'm the richest man in the world. But when you hear the word millionaire, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? Is it the freedom to buy whatever you want? Is it the dream of traveling the world? Is it the joy of giving back on a huge scale? Or maybe it's something much simpler. Maybe it's the idea of finally breathing without the weight of debt on your shoulders. Whatever your dream looks like, today it's about doing one thing that makes you feel like a million. You do not have to wait for 7 figures to show up in your account to feel rich in your own life. You can choose something small that reminds you that you matter and that you deserve great things. Try a spa treatment. Take an exotic car for a test drive. I got to be honest with you, I just wouldn't do that. Little, I guess admission here. My mom used to have one of those PT Cruisers, and I still smoked at that time, so I was much less girth and just, taller, I'm right around 5'11", so, just short of 6 foot, but, and when I would get into that car with the seat moved all the way back, I was too tall for it. I had to take and open the sunroof and look through the sunroof at the stoplights. Because for me to see the stoplights, I had to park back like 20 feet from the line. I had never been more uncomfortable in a car than that car. And the funny thing is when I was driving one time to go to Kansas, I used her car. It was brand new, so it was going to be safer. But I was driving in that car to Kansas, and I hit a raccoon. And I am going to tell you, I jumped that car. It literally came off the ground. Scared the holy hell out of me. But anyway, you can try a spa treatment, take an exotic car for a test drive, treat yourself to a special coffee or a cocktail. Just please drink responsibly. Or choose something that costs nothing at all. A quiet moment. A walk, a conversation with somebody who lifts you up. Feeling rich is not always about money. It's about permission to enjoy your life. And today we are spotlighting someone who helps people build confidence. Wendy, the financial lion. She teaches families how to eliminate fear, grow wealth safely, and build a future that feels secure instead of stressful. You can find her on Community Pay It Forward partner page simply by scanning her family badge right here. Wendy knows what it is like to have the proverbial rug yanked out from under her. From the death of her husband in her early 20s to her and her husband now both being fired on the same day. And she has taken and stood up and said, we ain't doing this. And she's come up with plans that help people prepare themselves for these difficult situations. Look, if you've never met Wendy, you need to. Use the QR code above or simply ask me, hey, Zach, can you give me an introduction to Wendy? And I will gladly do it. So our tie-in today, due to mental health. Money stress is one of the biggest mental health burdens people carry. It affects sleep, relationships, confidence, and even physical health. National Be a Millionaire Day gives us a chance to flip that script. Instead of focusing on what we lack, we can focus on what we can control. One small action that makes us feel secure. One choice that makes us feel valued. One moment that reminds us that our worth is not measured in dollars. Taking care of your financial well-being is taking care of your mental well-being. And reaching out to someone like Wendy can be a powerful step towards peace of mind. Again, please scan the QR code above my shoulder or ask me at Zak, Z-A-K, at communitypayitforward.us, Z-A-K, at communitypayitforward.us. Ask me for an introduction. I would gladly give it to you. So our question of the day: when you think of being a millionaire, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? And what is the one thing you can do today that makes you feel like a million? So please, in the chat, whatever social media you're on, answer that question. When you think of being a millionaire, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? And what's the one thing that you can do today that makes you feel like a million? This is a fun question. My answer: I have one dream, bucket list thing, if you will, after I got to go and visit the Negro Leagues Museum in Kansas City. And it's simply to take my family to Europe and visit these historic sites that are thousands of years, some of the castles, going into Egypt, Rome, Greece, going and seeing where life began, going to Germany, seeing where my ancestry came from. And if I'm able to take my entire family to this trip, that's because of one thing. That's because together, think of how many people we were able to help. And that is what drives me. So please like, share, subscribe this video. Answer our question of the day. When you think of being a millionaire, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? And what is the one thing you can do that makes you feel like a million? Our ask of the day is very simple. No matter if you're in a great mood, no matter if you're in a bad mood, think of that one thing. Look at that one thing that makes you feel like a millionaire. Mine sits right here on my desk. It's my grandkid. It's my grandkids. I got my other grandkids sitting right beside, along with my son, my daughter, and our Nate, fluffy fart smeller. Sorry, had to do it. Think of that one thing that makes you feel like a million and share it out with everybody. You do not have to wait for wealth to live with joy, confidence, and purpose. Celebrate National Be a Millionaire Day by choosing something that makes you feel rich in spirit, rich in gratitude, and rich in possibility. Lift yourself up, lift someone else up, and as always, tell us what you got today. I'd like to remind you to join us tonight at 8 p.m. East for Lynn's Day. What is Lynn's Day, you ask? Well, where have you been? Lynn's Day is where we have our dear friend and giving partner, Lynn Sabulski, who's going to join us. She's going to join us and give free tarot readings live on air, 8 p.m. on this channel that you're watching right now. If you would like to find out different channels, just go to communitypayitforward.us, go to the podcasting tab, and you can find all the outlets right there. Thank you for joining us. And please remember, if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. No one needs to go it alone when we all come together. Love someone out there because someone out here loves you. What you got?
Warning, brown cloud is approaching. Some others may not be so lucky, but don't worry. It's all part of the fun at the Chili Cook-Off for Books and Board Game, where the chili is hot, the flavors are bold, and Bear E has your back with the official Brown Cloud Preparedness Kit. Follow the plan, know your exits, and whatever you do, hold your breath, because this temporary pain is all for a great cause. Join us, laugh with us, survive the brown cloud, together at Key Largo Lounge in Greeley.
Join us November 8th at 11 a.m. for the 10th annual Chili Cook-Off for Books and Board Games at our home field, Key Largo Lounge, where our small market team is making a huge statement. Scan the code for tickets and sponsorship information. What if your story could power a movement? Every struggle you have conquered becomes the answer someone else is still searching for. At Community Pay It Forward, your mission matters. When someone shops with one of our giving partners, they can choose to support you simply by uploading a receipt. Your story gets shared, you get visibility, and you can share our program to raise up to 90% in referral awards. You have a story worth sharing. We're here to help you tell it. Apply today by using the QR code or at communitypayitforward.us. Because your story deserves to be shared. And at Community Pay It Forward, no one needs to go it alone when we all come together.
So that was the What You Got for this morning. And we do that, like I said, we're doing that every morning. Of course, I missed a couple days last week because I got extremely sick. I guess it was a couple weeks ago, about a week and a half ago. But we did miss a couple days due to me falling ill. But hey, we are about 29 minutes from Lynn's Day beginning. So please make sure that you stick with us. Get your questions ready. What we do is we ask you to please put questions in the chat on whatever social media you're on. Put questions in the chat, and Lynn is going to read the tarot cards for you. And or if you want, you can reach out to me, and if you ask me what you are going, or just send me a message saying, hey Zach, I'd like to come on and ask my question live. I ask you what your question is. If I can tell that you're not one of those worms who tries to interrupt shows, I'll give you the link, and then you can come on live and ask your question. So, hey, one of the things that you saw tonight when I began this is my plea for volunteers. We need desperately a couple volunteers. We've got the layout for the Come Together Compass. We've already got an app. But right now, basically, we've got 2 new toys that are sitting in a box that could do a hell of a lot of good if I could just find somebody who could take and unwrap these toys and make them work. I need your help. So if you're not doing nothing 4 or 5 hours a month, whatever it is, maybe 10 hours a month if you're really ambitious, and you would like to put your skills to work, I ask you to please join us here at Community Pay It Forward and volunteer. Help us get stuff going. We do still, as you can see right behind me, we do still have that Dignified Dementia blanket, and we're still waiting to earn $150 so we can give it away. Please donate if you can. And eventually, folks, I'm just going to give the damn thing away. Okay, so if you donate right now, pretty good chance you'll win since we haven't even received one donation. Folks, I'm going to tell you, I'm sorry, that's a little crazy to me. It's a beautiful, beautiful blanket. So I really, really hope that we can get your help and get this going. So next week on this show, we will be having our dear friend Aviva. Aviva's going to come back in and talk a little bit more about connecting with yourself, with others, with just making that connection, making sure that everything in your life is successfully coming together. So, Hey, we did get a little bit of good news today. Nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's a done deal yet. But Gifts So Good, we are going to be getting some new products in. Once again, they're not in there yet, but we're going to start getting some dog products in there, some pet food products. And if you go to the communitypayitforward.us/shop, if you type that up in the bar, the search engine, it's going to show you, it's going to take you to where you can just go and look at Gifts So Good, and you're going to be able to take and shop for your animal. Obviously, you guys can see, we kind of like animals here. 6 dogs, 1 cat, 1 bird, 2 dozen fish, something like that. So, you know, we lost our 28-year-old spider, unfortunately, but you know, things happen. So, but please consider buying your next pet products from Gifts So Good, helping Z and I out, and remember, every purchase is a donation to something that you care about. So just take and remember, why would you purchase something from another pet store or your big box store and not let your money work for you when you can make that purchase through Community Pay It Forward and Gifts So Good, and it makes a difference not just to you, but to someone else. One of the other things that we have going for us right now are these wonderful shirts in celebration of Red Friday. Every Friday, people across the country put on red for one reason: to honor the women and men who left the comfort of home so we can live freely. These shirts are not about politics. They are not about a war. They are not about religion. They are about gratitude. They are about respect. They are about remembering everyone deployed. When you purchase one, you help us launch the Come Together Compass, a program built to guide families and heroes to the support that they need. Wear your pride. Wear your gratitude. Support Red Friday. Remember everyone deployed.
Today we get to welcome a leader who doesn't just build systems, he builds momentum, clarity, and confidence. Please help me celebrate Jordan Templeton Harris, founder and president of Fitzgerald Built, as the newest member of our Community Pay It Forward giving family. He doesn't operate as a vendor, he operates as a force multiplier, a strategic partner who helps leaders. Whether an organization is growing, transforming, or trying to get unstuck, Jordan brings the operational intelligence and accountability that turn ideas into measurable outcomes. And now, he's chosen to stand with us, to make sure no one has to face a difficult moment alone. That's what makes this partnership special. That's what makes Jordan family. Please visit his profile, share his badge, and help us welcome him the way only this community can. Welcome to the family, Jordan. We're honored to walk this mission with you.
You're going to be hearing from Jordan here in the next couple days. He and I have a meeting tomorrow, and we're going to be recording with him soon. You're going to get to know a little bit more about him. Jordan's a very, very young yet ambitious young man. He really is putting his knowledge of, you know, the things that he's been part of. He's putting them to work and trying to make sure that your business moves forward. And look, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing better than that. Hey, one of the other things that I'd like to do is I'd like to play these a little bit more because I think it's a great way to show you who is in our family. The men and women who take and are part of what we do, whether they are people who are giving partners, our sponsorship partners, whether it's our mission partners, or even our community partners, and just the ones who are sitting there and doing great stuff in the community, teaming with us, okay? And this is what you can do to be part of this family, part of the Community Pay It Forward family. And remember, here in 20 minutes, Lynn's Day begins. But right now, I'd like to introduce you to my friend from Safer, Cleaner Water, Mr. Mark Miller.
I've always wanted to do something to help others. I realized that very early in my life. Even when I was 16 years of age, it was like there's something going to happen in my life that's going to help a lot of people. So I never forgot that. And a lot of times I would take a job or start a business or learn something. Sometimes I'd say, I don't really want to learn this, but I know I need to learn this because I'm going to need it when that time comes. So there was always a business process in my mind, and I've had a number of businesses in my life and had some inventions and different things, but all the time it was like, this is the next step. And looking back, I see that each of those things that I experienced over the last number of years were stepping stones to be able to get to where we are now. For example, 33 years serving with a nonprofit entity helped us prepare for that. And we realized and decided that this is what we want to do. We want to help people. And this was one of the first things that I found, not one of the first, but one of the final things I found, to be able to say, this is something that can help millions of people. And that's what I've looked for. We have a desire to give first. Everything else takes care of itself. My business is to help everybody I can to have pure water for life. Do you mean that's possible? The answer is yes. The way things are set up with this system, it's designed for you and up to 300 other people that you may know and care about to be able to have pure water every single day for life, even if there's no electricity, even if there's no water flowing through your faucet. You can go to any source of water, no matter how challenged it is, purify it to 99.9% pure, and with 100% of the microplastics taken out, and actually have that water, that pure water. And in fact, that water is the same, the filter is the same type that is used in dialysis machines. So you know that has to be structured to be pure. And to be able now to have that for you and those that you care about, and also where you want to donate to others. We have a nonprofit entity to help that be accomplished with those that we want to serve that have needs, and you can contribute to that as well. And then we have a Safer, Cleaner Water, where we market in the United States, where you literally can have a water filtration system called Safer, Cleaner Water. It's a daily use, but it can be used for emergency, but you can use it daily as well, where you actually can have the ability to produce the water you need every day to have pure water for life. The way we do it in the United States, you receive the 5-gallon container that you need, you receive the hose, you receive the adapter kit, you receive the filter, you receive everything you need, that within 10 minutes from the time that it comes to your door, shipping is included, you now have that pure water for the rest of your life, for you, your family, and those that you care about. You can use it daily or put it in a place for when there's an emergency. And now, the peace of mind to know that you, and the fact that you can help many others for a very minimal financial, where they have the ability to have the same. There's nothing that's greater reward for me, and there's nothing that will be a greater reward for you to say, I was able to help millions of people or hundreds of people or just one family to have pure water for life. The question, where is my company headed? What's interesting about that, if you'd asked me that 2 weeks ago, or 2 months ago, or 2 years ago, it would be probably have been a different answer. But where I see my company headed today is greater than anything I could have imagined. The fact that I've realized that even right now, we're in the process of helping as many as 300,000 people that have no water, no pure water, and that we can make that happen for them and millions of other people. My goal that I set for this year, for 2026, is to have 1 million plus people have pure water that they can have it for life. We've done that with someone walking across Africa in the last few weeks has helped over 40,000 people. We've helped some orphanages recently that had 400 orphans, and seeing that little girl that take the first sip of that pure water saying, ah, those type things make you have a greater vision. It just grows. That's the point. And we're happy to say that we feel like there's literally, like what we felt, millions of people will be able to have pure water for life in the next very short period of time. And people are beginning to come to me and say, I want to help. I want to do something. And some are saying, I'm going to help you with the process. Some are saying, and this is just the start of what we feel will happen, where they say, I want to help financially because this is such a great thing. And people that, for example, have money and realize what we're doing, they come to the place where they say, there's nothing I could do that would be a greater legacy than to leave the ability financially to help hundreds of thousands or 1,000 or 500 or 1 million people have pure water. This is super accelerating, and in the next very few years, there will be millions and millions of people across the continent. In fact, one of our ones that's working with us in Africa is walking across the continent to make people aware of the need, and also doing things with our filter to help as he does, as he goes. But we had a conversation 8 weeks ago, and Paul and I were talking, and Paul said, and we talked together, we would like to see 1,000 distribution centers across the continent of Africa, that we raise funds to supply the filters to those distribution centers, that they can serve those with need in that area and have pure water for life and have millions and millions of lives changed for life. And UA Legacy Grants is set up that whenever I decide to retire, which probably will not happen for a long time, there will be things in place to take this on long time for many years to come. What you can do today to make the future brighter for you and everyone that you know is to do something you personally. What would you think if I said, would you like to have pure water for life? What would be the logical answer? And the answer, of course, is yes. Would you like to have all of those that you care about have pure water for the rest of their life? The answer would logically be yes. Would you like to see multitudes of people have pure water for life and do things that you can do, whatever that amount of things that you can do, just supporting it or believing in it or telling people about it or supporting it financially? Would you like to see that happen? And I trust that would be yes as well. So where do you start? You start by personally saying, I'm going to do something that I need to do for me to be able to be prepared, where I can survive, where I can also help others in an emergency, your friend, your family, your loved ones, or whoever it is. So make it where you never have to say 4 words about what we're talking about. I wish I had. Nobody needs to say that, because all you have to do is today make a decision for you to make the step, which is so simple, and get a water filtration system that's designed to give you pure water for the rest of your life, filter guaranteed by the manufacturer. You never have to buy another filter. You can have pure water and help up to 300 other people per day in an emergency have pure water, and your pets and others as well, for life. That is what you can do to actually do something to take the first step. The next steps will follow by you sharing that with those that you care about. You can either do it for yourself and help them, or you can share the good news with them of how they can do it. But what some have said, okay, I want to get one for myself, but I also want to do something to help others. So I have friends and family and homeless shelters or other places, my church, etc., that should have one of these. So for every amount of dollars, every $100 you donate to above and beyond what you receive, you just tell us who you want it to go to, give us the shipping address. We take care of everything else for you. And if you have more dollars than that, than what those that you want to serve and want to help, we have our nonprofit entity designed to be able to help the homeless shelters around the United States. They've prepared food for those that they serve. They've prepared clothing and place to sleep and different things like that for those they serve. But I have not found one homeless shelter. I'm sure there is, but I haven't found one yet that has prepared to have pure water for those that they serve in an emergency. And those are the ones that's going to have the greatest need, because nobody else is helping them. They're dependent on someone already. That's what you can do to start the journey, and just make that and do it over and over again as far as helping others. Once you get yours, you're going to want to share it with others. We find that all the time. And you buy it for different reasons, but buy it to always have pure water. Buy it because you care for others, or you care for your pets, or you care for your veterans, or you care for your homeless shelters, just because you care. There's nothing more emotional and more rewarding than say, I've had the privilege of preparing myself where I never have to worry about it, and to help others be ready to do the same. And we want to spread this across the world to see everybody have pure water for life, where they don't have to say, I wish I had.
What's our sales potential? We're all selling a product, service, or idea to someone. How would we see our life when we maximize our performance and profit? When we connect with our potential that we were designed into us? It allows us to experience not only our work, but also our relationships at an enjoyable level. The workshop and assessment give us a chance to get reacquainted with who we were designed to be by the universe or God or whatever our belief system. The 3-hour workshop is separated into 3 days so our brain can absorb the new motivation and behavior change. J.W. Wilson, my mentor and author of Cracking the Learning Code, was not only known as a world leader in this science, he built $21 million businesses and taught Mayo Clinic's doctors to connect with their patients, among many other things. This is Les Simpson of Enhanced Team Performance. Below in the details is a flyer of the workshop, also with white paper and testimonial of the assessment. Included is a video link to my assessment. It shows who we are in all 6 areas of our life, and was created in the 80s and was proprietary to the Fortune 500 for 30 years. Now I'm bringing it to companies and individuals that want to maximize their work and relationships. Get back with my team leader that sent you this video to join their workshop.
And I am that team leader, and I would love to have you on our team as we take the adventure. It's, as he said, it's a couple day workshop where what you're going to do is you're going to learn truly what your brain knows. And it's your brain is going to tell you how to sell things. And it's going to make it easier. There's no, this is going to put you in a situation where you're no longer guessing and you're no longer trying to sell, things that you're no good at. I always get very, very nervous when I talk to people about sales, and I have a rule when it comes to community pay it forward. And that rule is very simple. I want you to sell what you sell because you love what you sell. I love community pay it forward. I love what you sell, but I could never do it as good as you do. I could never sell the product as good as you do. So, what we're going to do is I would just rather you, sell what you do, and I'll get on here and I'll tell the world about you, who you are, and what you're good at, and we'll do a little bit of we'll do business, and we'll turn that business into helping others. So here in a couple of minutes, we're going to be joined by the wonderfully talented, beautiful Lynn, as we start Lynn's Day. So please bear with us, and as soon as she gets here, we will we'll pop on and we will get started. Until then, once again, I do want to repeat, we are looking for volunteers, and you can simply get a hold of me at Zak, Z-A-K, at communitypayitforward.us, Zak, Z-A-K, at communitypayitforward.us. If you'd like to talk to me about volunteer opportunities, I would love to have your help. No matter what you do, I could really, really use your help. So, and we will be pulling in Lynn here in just 1 second, but we do need help. We do need volunteers. We need help with all kinds of things. Social media, all this stuff that an old guy might struggle with. And I'm that old guy. So Zak, Z-A-K, at communitypayitforward.us. Zak, Z-A-K, at communitypayitforward.us. So, Lynn, I'm going to pull you on before I do this. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great, Zach. How are you?
I'm doing okay, doing okay. I think, did you have the flu?
I did not have the flu, but it was weather and temperature on top of just kind of a perfect storm of stuff. But the weather shift did not treat me well at first.
Yeah, we had an 80-degree day. 2 days later, it was snowing. The worst snow we've had this year. Okay. And 3 days after that, it was back to 75 degrees.
Wow.
And all I could think of is, God, I love living in Colorado. Of course, I got sicker than a dog. I got that. I did catch that flu, and it was not a lot of fun for me. So, and Lynn, we're really, really glad to have you here. And I've got to share something with you. I did this to my buddy Joel White earlier. We've got our chili cook-off coming up, okay? And I don't know if you've seen it yet, but this is our promotion for the chili cook-off. I just got to get your opinion on this. And of course, we're doing it live on air because why not?
Pressure.
So remember, yes, this is a little bit ahead of time, but you know what? You can never be more prepared for an event because, believe me, when November 7th gets here, I'm going to be freaking out thinking, oh my God, I wish I was ready. So, but join us this year for the chili cook-off for books and board games.
Warning, the brown cloud is approaching. Some will try to outrun it. Others may not be so lucky. But don't worry, it's all part of the fun at the chili cook-off for books and board games. Where the chili is hot, the flavors are bold, and Bear E has your back with the official Brown Cloud Preparedness Kit. Follow the plan, know your exits, and whatever you do, hold your breath, because this temporary pain is all for a great cause. Join us, laugh with us, survive the brown cloud, together at Key Largo Lounge in Greeley.
Join us November 8th at 11 a.m. for the 10th annual Chili Cook-Off for books and board games at our home field, Key Largo Lounge, where our small market team is making a huge statement. Scan the code for tickets and sponsorship information. So I got to know, Lynn, what's your opinion on the brown cloud?
I love how it's a rainbow tinged brown cloud. It's got that, like,
Well,
Largo vibe to it that, would still pull people in. I love the push-pull of it. It's great.
yeah, that is definitely a male centric video. The whole male humor, but it's kind of that's
Who doesn't appreciate a good fart joke, Zach?
right. So we do have somebody joining us, and it's one of my favorite people in the world. We've got Frank coming in and joining us today. How you doing, Frank?
What? Good.
You got in.
Lynn,
with
how
some
much
of the-
rain did you get in Brooklyn, Lynn?
I don't know. I feel like I saw it come down and then I just wandered away from the window.
It just stopped from like 6:30.
But it was some kind of different rain because I noticed the pattern of water falling onto my deck. It was like buckets, so sometimes it got loose or was too fast. But
and the temperature is going to drop 30 degrees.
Listen, I haven't left my house all day. I'm staying right here. I love that everything on life can be virtual now because I have no desire to be out there right now.
Yeah, we once it was rainy and cold yesterday again. It didn't ever get above 40 here in Colorado. So I think Adrian's coming. The dogs are going to say hi to her, so we're going to be joined by her. How you doing tonight, Frank?
I'm doing okay.
So, Lynn, why don't you tell us a little bit about what is a tarot reading, and tell us a little bit about it, and then Frank will probably ask you your question and see how we can help you.
So what is a tarot reading? From a technical and legal perspective, tarot readings are for entertainment purposes only. Here are the tarot cards. I'm your stranger, Lynn Sabulski. I'm a professional. I shuffle cards and I try to pick up meaning from what they say. If we all get lucky, it applies directly to whatever my client has in the form of their question or situation. And the tarot cards have both historic meanings attached to each card, along with the additional layers that artists put on when they create a tarot deck. And when readers like myself use the deck and we have our own experience and intuition and experiences that we layer on top. And so a tarot reading can be very nuanced. It really depends a lot on what somebody is bringing into that reading, how open they are to receive and what they are open to receive. Sometimes it's just confirmation of a situation, sometimes it's new information, sometimes it's reassurance, sometimes it's very lighthearted, sometimes it's deep and profound. It's the whole range of human experience. And that's why I love it.
Frank, you as a coach, is there anything that you, like before you met Lynn, what was your thought of tarot readers? Were you just kind of like, Did you have any thought about that, or was it something that just never really crossed your mind?
Forever, I always thought about it. Honestly, I had some experiences growing up. Uh, didn't have the courage to do it, but when my oldest daughter, was 18 years old, we bought a car in Manhattan from a Tara Rita. It's a husband and wife thing. And we brought the car home, and I brought it to a mechanic. At that time, I had the bakery, so I had a mechanic, that I used to go to. And the whole, like, bottom of the car was being held together with one sheet metal screw.
I think I would be thinking of tarot readers at that point too.
Well, she knows what I'm talking about. There's people that have a stand or a sign, and they get the traffic that walk by, and they charge you, and but I always, and my two daughters were always intrigued by it. My daughter that passed away, something, and there was another group that they would go to. And the last time I visited my daughter was in February. Yes, it was in February. And she mentioned that she went to a medium because she still feels like her and my daughter felt like they were friends in another life. And then they became sisters. So she went to a medium, and she says, "I need to tell you something." I said, "Okay." She goes, "You don't mind?" And I said, "No, no." So she said that my father was with my other daughter, my daughter that passed away, and to convey to me how he felt, and because he never showed it, or I'm still dealing with the problems of that. So, but I believe that, I believe in the good part.
Lynn, what was going through your mind when you heard him talk? I mean, other than you can't listen to Frank talk and not just love the guy.
It's true, and because Frank and I live close enough together, we've had the pleasure of sitting down in person.
Yes.
I still think of it fondly, and I took the moss from the parking lot that day and added it to my garden. So there's a little patch in my garden that I look at and say, "Oh, that's really Frank." When you asked the question, Zach, I thought that Frank and I would probably have, for different reasons, similar initial opinions about people who do this line of work. And it's like anything else. You have good eggs and bad eggs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important for people to realize that, there are always business interests. And the more that you can kind of distance yourself from that, the better. But if you're going to kind of throw yourself in and somebody has an interest in making money, but they may not have necessarily an interest in you as a person, tread carefully. Or in Frank's case, drive carefully. I wish I could say that everyone I met that was doing tarot work or Reiki or astrology, that, everyone was just a beautiful, shining example of humanity. But I've met some sketchy people too. And, but I grew up, in the church, and there were some good and bad people there. I've gone to school, there are good and bad people there. So it's really just wherever we are, the humans are
There
around.
also was good and bad people in the finance business.
For sure.
Right?
For sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, it's an unfortunate fact that, look, there's good and bad people no matter where you're at. I mean, you can have look, nonprofits. How many horror stories do you hear about people in nonprofits? And I mean, that's something. That's one of those things that just really bugs me, is when you hear about a nonprofit that's gone bad. So Frank, do you have any questions for Lynn today? Would you like her to give you a reading of any kind?
Yeah, I would.
Go for it. Ask her the question.
Hard for you.
I'll tell you what. So, what is inside me, in my brain, moving around me is I'm going to be 75 in December. And in the past 2 months, a lot of minor things have happened to me with my hand, my heart. In fact, the doctor just called me a little while ago because he said, "You're fine." I says, "Well, if I'm fine, why do I have an 1800 calcium score on my heart and it's supposed to be 400?" And when I came out of the anesthesia yesterday, he says, "I told you, but I guess I says, "No, that's why I'm calling you today." He says, "It's all outside your arteries. Inside your arteries are fine." He says, "And it grows inside and out." And I felt really good also because my wife, my daughter, and my son were concerned about, "Well, you have high calcium. Like, go to another doctor. Go to this. Go to." And I said, I did go to a different doctor. I says, "I got a second opinion. He's the one that did this. I'm waiting for him to call me back." So, and he told me, he says, you're fine. It's all outside. Nothing's inside." So, and that, like I said, there's things, and I don't know if I'm preparing or I'm okay. I am okay with aging. I just want to age healthy. I don't want to age sickly. So that's, I don't know. And I trust your intuition. And that's why I would like you to look inside me.
Thank you for your trust, Frank. I have cards that were jumping out while we were talking. So let me just arrange them in whatever's...
While you're getting the cards ready, I do want to welcome in Adrian, my wife. She is joining
Hey,
the
Adrian.
show.
Nice to meet you.
Not necessary.
Yeah, it absolutely was necessary.
You don't welcome me in the room every time I walk in, now do you?
Well, I kind of do.
Okay, we're going to have to separate these two, do something, because they're going to fight. Can you mute that a minute? I'm going to put her outside. Let's.
I have a lot of cards that came out.
Dogs.
I hope you're not going anywhere for the next few minutes.
All right. I'm here.
Go play.
The first card that came up is the Nine of Cups. And so I like to think of the Nine of Cups as like when you go to a bar and you sit down in front of the bartender. If you're in a good place, you pour a drink and celebrate. If you're a bad place, you pour the drink and celebrate. But there's still this idea of you go to someone or someplace and they pour something out that soothes and helps you kind of put things in perspective. And so the purpose of this conversation is to kind of soothe and put things in perspective, because everything about how you move forward depends on where you are when you're doing the exploring. And it's cups, and so it's emotions, and it's heavy. It's a 9 out of 10. So the things that are in your heart, and, you know, we'll have our conversation in the reading, and some of those things will be spoken aloud, and some you will just feel inside you. But this card is honoring the, you know, profoundness and the gravity of the answers that you're looking for, and also giving you a nod and saying the reason you are feeling this level of profound is because of the spiritual growth that you have done, that you have this awareness to even be thinking along these lines. So the first thing that's coming up, you have a reversed hermit. So it says, do not pull into your shell. Spend as much time with people as possible. That is the number one easiest way to feel that you are meeting your obligations in your relationships with other human beings, is just spend the time with them. Doesn't even matter what you're doing. If you can look at your calendar and say, here's a chunk for this person, here's a chunk for this person, here's a chunk for this person, let go and let God. But
Okay.
the meetings and spend the time, and that will go a long way to alleviating. You are also pulling a reversed Five of Swords. This is saying there are conflicts that are in the past that you don't need to think about anymore. Swords is thinking and analysis. The 5 is a number of conflict, and so it's saying whatever arguments or disagreements you have with people that are in the past, they're in the past, they're over, they're done with. You don't need to look there anymore. What the focus is on now, you have a reversed Three of Cups. Reversed Three of Cups, and this is interesting because your question, I think, centers along bringing people closer and raising the vibe that way. This Three of Cups says there are at least some people that you need to kind of cut out from an emotional standpoint. So you can call this like a cord cutting if it's someone you're not in touch with. If it's someone you are in touch with, it could be just, hey, I don't really have time for that friendship or relationship anymore. But there's a sense of there are some emotional connections in your human relationships that it's okay to let go of because they're hurtful and they don't change. So that's another homework assignment from the universe. You are pulling a reversed Eight of Swords. So what this means is you are correct in your analysis that there are certain factors and risks that were not issues before that are issues for you now. So you shouldn't, go blindly into the future and say, I don't need to worry about things. I don't need to think about things. I don't need to do research on these things. But there's nothing coming out of this reading that is saying, hey, the hammer's about to fall. The tower is here. There's some, awful thing that is coming. There's nothing coming up that says, Frank, if you do something different, you're going to change the outcome. You're really on the path already. Under your fears and concerns, you have a reversed world. The world card represents Saturn, which represents our boundaries, our limitations, time, and whether or not we can get around those. So this card being reversed is saying, Frank, there are no more outstanding issues on your plate that the universe is saying, boy, you really need to work on this thing. You haven't learned the lesson here. This thing is going to keep coming back. It's basically saying you're done with the big stuff. But for someone who is so used to doing the self-work, it's hard when you kind of like run out of the big things. So this isn't saying that there's like not a purpose to your life. It's just saying like, hey, congratulations. You figured out the big things.
Thank you.
I got 3 more cards. Actually, I got 5 more cards for you.
It's okay.
I told you a lot came out. This was going to be a conversation. You also are pulling a reversed devil card. The devil is all about the bad habits that we have that are our own undoing. And this is reversed. And so it's saying, Frank, you know what those things are. You worked on those, you're done. So congratulations again. You are pulling the reversed Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands talks about action, travel, movement, and this is reversed. And so it's basically saying, hey, Frank, you did such a good job. You ran out of stuff to work on. And you're saying, what do I even do next?
Wow.
So we have an answer to that. Your Four of Wands. And all these cards were like reversed, reversed, reversed. So here we are. Here's the resolution. What do we actually work on? The Four of Wands, it's an action card. and it talks about commitments. Your absolute, ride or die friends, partners, passions, interests, everything that you love, that you are committed to the journey for, that really resonate with you, that are solid and can move forward with those things. There is a direct connection somewhere with this Three of Pentacles, the new lines of work that you are working on now that are not completely finished yet. There is some sort of connection with this Seven of Pentacles, what you are doing, planting seeds somehow for future generations, specifically for your future family generations, are somehow going to benefit from something that comes out of that work. You are pulling the Justice card, which is a sign of like some cosmic balance, a wrong being righted, or a system of positivity being put in place where there was none before. There's an organizing structure to this where before there wasn't one. And we have a reversed King of Chalices, or the reversed King of Cups, that represents you, and it's saying, Frank, don't be so hard on yourself.
Wow.
Here you are.
Okay.
Is it resonating? Wow. Does it make sense?
All of it.
Wonderful.
Really, really, like I can actually feel better about not being hard on myself, about the things I'm trying to accomplish emotionally, spiritually, with people. And that you said, go out, meet more people, do things. I was withdrawing from that. And now I'm not going to. I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing. So thank you, really.
Doing, Frank. I love, the thing that I love so much about this reading is the context of what you do. That you see this journey of someone who has done so much self-work and has achieved so much mastery that even the universe is coming in and saying, like, the homework's done, dude. But then the line of work that you're in is so much involved with giving advice to people and helping them, get back on track and move forward with their lives. This reading shows, hey, you're not just anybody doing that work. You have walked the walk and talked the talk and are like qualified, stamped from the universe.
Okay.
You're doing this thing.
Thank you again.
You're welcome. It's great. It's beautiful. I love it.
Was there anything in there, Frank, that you would like to get did you have any questions on anything that she was?
Honestly, I gotta say, she was like hitting every nail on the head with the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to be specific about some of the things that she was, but there are things that I said, how do I deal with this, and how do I deal with that? And when you said let go and let God, I've been saying that to myself, like there's things I can't control, there's things I can't control, and the things I can't, like, one of the things I'm learning about the growth I've done is I can't future's the wrong word. I can't imagine, okay, this is how I think my life should be, and chase it and try to make it happen. You can't do that. So you let go. And I go like this with it. I go up and down and but after the meeting we had this afternoon, and I had a nice conversation with my wife at dinner, with my daughter on the phone before, I felt something let go. A weight. I felt like a weight was lifted. So, and then when he asked me the question about tarot cards, I really, I had intuition, never to go in one where like it was. There used to be a flea market here. And there was a woman that used to do, and I was in my like 20s then, and I went to her. But then there was people you'd see on the second floor, like in Brooklyn where you live, up on the second floor with a sign outside, $5, come upstairs and see. And I never had I never trusted to go do that. So it's, but I did have I do believe what you believe. I believe. I don't know, Zach, if that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. And from that, Lynn, Adrian, what do you guys do to try to separate yourselves from the, and excuse the term here, but shysters, from the ones that are out there that are just, trying to, in which, Adrian, you and I deal with it like in the ghost hunting world all the time. We see people who are out there just doing some really, really stupid stuff, and actually, if anything, doing damage to the field.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you do, Adrian? First, what do you do to try to separate yourself from those who are out there trying to damage it?
Well, first of all, you can't. I mean, if you're legit and people are going to know that, and then you're still going to get the ones that don't believe it anyway, so it makes no difference. I mean, in all honesty, you can't do it for someone else, so it really doesn't matter what they think.
That's true.
Your circle of friends, you have to kind of watch and make sure that your little circle is not on the CNN for how do you say this without us getting kicked off the air? Illegal things, which we have had to kick out people that we had no idea had a record for illegal things.
Yeah.
And you're going to get tainted as you go along. And to me, I don't worry about it. They know me. They know I'm legit, because if I don't have the answer, I'm going to tell them I don't have the answer.
Right.
You can't have... Spirit's not going to come if it don't want to. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So, and that's a disclaimer I do up front. Who comes through may not be who you want to come through. And I can't make them. So, and I can't make them give you the answer. Like somebody the other day asked me, messaged me, I had read for her several times. And it's not so much read for her like cards. It was just trying to connect. And she's messaged me several times over the past few months, and there was a court date coming up. Her friend had gotten unalived. And it was a big thing, I believe, in Alabama. I don't remember exactly where it was, but she was like high up in the church. And she was there by herself, and this guy walked in and unalived her and burned the church around her with her in it. And she was just asking me, did I have any idea what was going to happen in court? And I said, I can't tell you what's going to happen in court, but I can tell you, you're not going to get the justice that you believe is deserved. Because if it was my friend, this is on a personal level. This is not on a, spiritual level. If it was my friend, I'd want that to happen to them.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen. So you're never going to get the justice that you want. And so later, she told me about what happened in court. And then she texts me one day and says, "Can you read anything from this man?" Sends me a picture. And I said, "Not really." And she says, "Well, I need to know where he hid the deed to the house." Okay.
Check the sock drawer.
Well, and sometimes you can get something like that, but that's very, very rare. And I just had to say, I'm sorry, he's not telling me. I mean, in all reality, there could have not been one. He could have not signed one. I don't know, but you have to completely be honest. You can't, oh, he said some dark room in the back of a corner closet. No. If you don't know, you don't know.
You know,
Get down.
I was a producer for a show at one point in time. I kind of missed doing it a little bit, but there were certain guests that we had on that were really confusing to me because they would want they would talk to someone, but it was like they would tell you who they were going to talk to, and they would talk to them right then and there. Okay, and we're talking like
Biblical figures.
biblical figures. Like these people, they called and they made an appointment with them.
Yeah, like biblical figures, including
Mary.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And Mary. And, it's like, those of us that do it know that doesn't work that way. So, but, we were just producing the show. This is not something that but again, we were involved.
Right.
So anybody else would see as we condone that, which everybody to their own. If they're believing they're talking to Jesus Christ, fine. But, we're not going to come out there and say, yes, they're legit.
I'm definitely not going to say that. So, Lynn, what do you do to separate yourself from the Lucy psychic 5 cent readers?
I stay in my house.
There you go. That's the right answer. I don't engage.
It's true though. I to be completely honest, this is one of the big minuses in the column of do you enter into a spiritual community? And for me, my spiritual space is so important. I want it sparkly clean. And you can accuse me of being liberal or loose in many other areas in life, but when it comes to the spiritual, I don't want anyone in my space unless their vibe is up here. I don't want to participate in the ritual. I don't want to hold your hand. I don't want to chant the hymn. And I don't care where we are. If we're in church, if we're around a bonfire, it just doesn't matter to me. That is something that I know if I keep, protected and kind of pure, then I can trust what's there. And some of the questions that the kind of, toxic and lower vibrational people focus on, they focus on those things because that's what stirs up fear and confusion in people. And that's how they kind of get their hooks in. And that's, how they, commit the toxic acts that they do. When you get to a certain level of spirituality, so many things fall away. Like, are we talking to, Jesus or Buddha or this person or that person, right? Like, yeah, in one sense, hey, this isn't customer service. I am not in charge of whatever's out there. They're not showing up because I said they should. There's no, let me talk to the manager sort of deal. But in a, you could take it, you could look at it from another angle and say, if that person gets a message, gives them some sense of closure or relief or healing or whatever, does it matter where it came? Does it matter if it was God? Does it matter if it was Buddha? Does it matter if it was this utter charlatan just pulling something out of their butt that for whatever reason really resonated with this person? Who am I to criticize the end? Everyone's journey is kind of going like this. So, a broken clock is right twice a day.
Right. Yeah. Frank, in your world, in the coaching world,
Yep.
this isn't something that's just limited to psychics or medium or tarot readers. coaching world, there's a lot of people out there doing, quite frankly, terrible things to people, and they're doing it just for the money. They're not doing it for, the whole, I want to help someone. They've got alternative motives.
Yeah. So it's, I can, so I've been doing it for 3.5 years now, and I belong to ICF in Manhattan, the International Coaching Federation, and I've been to a bunch of different networking events. And I go, I put some business cards in my pocket, and I dress appropriately, and I go to these events. Not so much anymore, but I wanted to meet the people in the industry, who they were, where they came from, I wanted to learn. Like, I knew how to be a salesman, I knew how to bake bread, I knew how to do this, but I didn't know how to listen correctly or evaluate somebody, not that person, but somebody that came to me. And I met, I'm going to use the word charlatans, and some of these people were, I met an attorney, I met a psychiatrist, I met an MD, and they basically were doing it because they had a client base, but they didn't have to pay medical insurance because you don't need malpractice insurance when you do that. And I said, wow, so they really don't care about the person, for me anyway. I'm that kind of person. So I've done a lot for nothing. And my therapist said, she goes, you can't be doing it for nothing. You have to charge people.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest problem is charging people, because I do help people in like one session. I don't, what I didn't have a chance to share today when we were with Mr. Z, but I took a program that somebody helped me develop, and I broke it down to 1 hour. And it's not a lot of money. And the other program, I kept trying to promote it, but I couldn't honestly promote it because I wouldn't buy it. If I wasn't going to go buy that, I'm not going to convince you to do it. But this is basically, you do what we call like an intake for 20 minutes or so, and then you decide if you want to do it. It's an hour. And at the end of the hour, you figure out if I do this, this, and this, and I practice this every day, my life will change. And I'll tell them, give yourself 90 days. And it's like going to the gym to work out. You have to do it for 90 days. You can't go for 3 or 4 days and go, this isn't working.
Yeah.
Guilty.
I go to the gym a lot, so I know that. So that's how I evaluate that with the money. But I've also learned in life, when I was 35, 40 years ago, I felt the more I acquired, and the more people I knew, the happier I would be. And then I realized that does not mean a hill of beans. So here I am.
Let me give you a little hint here. In our world, if you don't charge, which I do not, and the reason I do not is because, what are you doing? Stop playing with it. Get your hands off.
Oh, he's doing. I thought it was doing it by itself.
No, he's got his hands on the mouse.
I got 5 minutes, guys. My wife is calling me.
So I don't do it simply because I'm also a paranormal investigator. And I do not charge for paranormal investigation because 2 reasons. You go into someone's house, you're there to help them. You're not there to, charge. If they give you a tip, great. If they don't, great. You're there to help. And there is no guarantee. I mean, if they were to take you to court saying you didn't do your job, how are you going to prove, number one, there was something to do a job on?
Right.
And number 2, that you did anything. Pictures are not going to help you. No. Things like that. So when I do readings, which is very rare, when somebody will message me or I'm in a chat or a group page that has it's called readings, and people will put pictures up and say, what do you get? Or they'll have a crisis, and if someone's drawn to talk to them, they will. And I've only done that twice, and that's how I got these people messaging me every other day. But what I've learned is if you don't charge, they don't trust you. They think that you're worthless because you don't charge.
Yeah.
And for me, that's fine. I don't care because I'm not going to charge either way. That's not my living. I just do it on the side, and it doesn't take much energy for me because I don't do it all the time. It's very rare that I do.
I can relate to that. I truly want to help somebody. Like I'm not, and I also feel that I come across people that they don't just, they so I've met people that would reach out to me to help them straighten something out in their life, whatever it is. But what I realized after speaking with them and letting them share with me what they would like to do, and this is a cliche, everything in their life that's not going right is somebody else's fault in their life.
Right. They want
And
you
like,
to tell them who to blame.
I can't help somebody like that.
Yeah. Yeah. They want you to tell them who to blame.
Yeah. It's the blame. Yeah. So it's.
Yep. We all run into things like that, but in all reality, we all have to remember our worth. Is what it boils down to.
Yeah.
We have to know our worth, and of course, paying it forward to someone else
That's right. Paying it forward.
You know you can't.
Yeah.
You know they couldn't pay, but they really need the help, and you know that they would take the help.
Yep.
That's a whole different story. But people that are out there just seeking different answers and locking on the one that they like, that's different.
I have an experience every day now when I get up and I wake up in the morning and I look in the mirror in the bathroom. I like who I see.
Yeah.
So try
That's
this.
big for me.
Try this. When you wake up in the morning, you know, we all have our days when we first wake up, it's like dreading doing whatever it is that we have to do.
Right.
When you wake up, the first thing, if you dread it, stop right there. Don't
That's
move.
right.
Don't do nothing.
Yeah.
Find something to be excited about.
That's
or
right.
be thankful about. It changes your whole day.
I agree. All right. I don't want to be rude, but I have to go.
Yeah. But hey, you know what,
Have a good
Frank?
night.
Frank,
Nice
before
to
you
meet
go,
you too. Nice to-
yeah, Frank, before you go, please tell people how to get a hold of you.
Through LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, or my website, which is FJM Life Coaching, and you can also now do reclaimyourpowerinanhour.com, and it'll take you right to the website.
That's great. So you can also go to communitypayitforward.us and put in FJM. And it's gonna, FJM, and it's going to take you to his page. Frank, thank you very much for joining us today. It's always so nice when you are able to join us. You know, no matter if it's a networking thing or if we're just having a conversation. I love talking to you.
Same here.
I'm really glad that you're feeling well. So go and enjoy your time with your wife.
Thank you.
All right.
That's
So
right now.
but thank you, Frank. So let me get it and see each other.
Grief. What did
Hey,
you do with that picture?
I can't help it. That's just the way it kind of goes.
No,
So
you have been a producer for how long now? You know better than all that stuff. See, you're playing with it, and you need to damn well stop.
well, you know, that's what we do. So, Lynn, I will ask a question now, and we have a bunch of family who is going to be joining us here in about a month, and we are really excited about it.
So, Wait,
But
I'm laughing because of the astrology already. Jupiter, Jupiter, the planet of good luck, opportunity. It expands everything it touches.
Right.
It's been in the sign of Cancer, which is like moods, feelings, nurturing, compassion, that sort of thing. But at the end of this month, Jupiter moves into Leo, and Jupiter stays in the same sign for like a year. And so Jupiter moving into Leo is all about family. And we have Uranus in Gemini. Gemini is like a doubling, so it's like multiplying everything that it's touching. And so this theme of people either having lots of family arrive and stay for a minute, or moving cross country to be with family, or just this issue is a biggie, and it's like exactly the timetable that you're talking about is when it starts, and it's for a year. So yes, tell me more. I've got my cards.
yeah, well, we've
I
got.
would ask the same thing.
Oh, were you? Yeah, we've just got we've got family that's all coming in, and actually, as soon as one set of family leaves, we got another set of family arriving. So I mean, we've got them coming from Oklahoma, Kansas, Idaho.
Okay, little background here. My kids are not together a lot at the same time with me. The little boy who is 25, he's not a little boy anymore, but I call him my baby, and there's a country song called The Baby, and they constantly tease him. Well, that's your baby, that's why that happened. Actually, he's a good kid, very good kid.
Yeah.
The girls have given me issues, he has not. But my girls are, well, the oldest one is a lot like me and very wild, and very opinionated and bipolar, which I'm not bipolar, but I'm very wild and opinionated. And we sometimes clash, never bad, but there's jealousy between all three kids to a point, but they love each other to no end. I just want to know how this is going to go. And Mama's fixing to break some news to them that they're not going to like. Well, one of them's not going to like.
Okay, so the question is basically how things are going to go with all of your children when...
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will be right back because I'm putting this dog completely out. Go. Where is she? She's not even in here, is she?
I don't know which one you're talking about.
Either way, she's in charge.
Yeah. So while Lynn's doing her thing, I'd like to remind everybody, please put your question in the comments, or just remember, since we're coming up to the end of the show, she's here the third Wednesday of every month, and you can come in or reach out to us, and I will get you the link, and like Frank, you can come on and join us live right here on the show. So, but please reach out. We might have time to do one more reading after this one. We'll see what goes on, but this is Lynn's Day, and once again on the pACT channels, we want to thank Lynn for joining us. And go on ahead, Lynn.
Is Adrienne back yet? Do you want me to start?
Not yet. She'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
So,
I actually wanted to talk to you about something.
Uh-oh.
Because when were you born? 71?
Yes.
Okay. So I took the liberty of pulling your astrological chart just to kind of get some more, background, and I see exactly why we get along so well. Your chart is what a wonderful person you are. I mean that truly. But the thing that is really interesting that jumped out at me is that your Saturn is at 0 degrees Gemini. And we just had Uranus hit 0 degrees Gemini. And so literally what this means is that Saturn, your planet of, limitations and boundaries and all that kind of stuff, Uranus, the planet of like drastic changes, just sat on it, and it's sitting on it right now. Which means anything that you have seen as or felt as a limitation or a boundary or something to be overcome, it's like everything is shifted now. And the fact that it's Gemini energy always sees like both sides of things or two different perspectives of things. So it is that is an opportunity that is just kind of everywhere. So I'm saying harness the energy everywhere in your life, and regardless of whether something didn't work out before or didn't have the right, whatever, fill in the blank, that combination is like, wow. I mean, not everybody is getting that in their lifetime. So this is kind of the ticket saying, hey, the changes that you want, the energy's here. So,
Yeah, I'm not very good with restrictions. I'm not very good at being told I'm not supposed to do things. So,
well, Gemini is the sign of communication. You do a lot between the communication you do and the gadgets you use to do it. You've got, and your gift of gab. You do have like a very Gemini energy in that way. I mean, that's a piece of your cosmic recipe that shines through. So, it can be some really big positive shifts. It can be, leveling up, and yeah, I'm excited for it.
well, God gifted me with three things: a big gut, a big butt, and a big mouth, and I'm going to use one of them for good. So,
They are all good for something.
Being told what you're not supposed to do. That's why you're in the shape you're in right now. You were told that you're not supposed to stand up on a broken ankle. What'd you do? You were told you're not supposed to move your neck. What'd you do? And what problems you got now?
yes, dear.
It's a good time to change some habits. Okay, Adrian, so here's what is jumping out of the reading. The first thing that came out is the Wheel of Fortune card. So it's faded. The visits that are coming in, the conversations that are happening. I mean, it's a heavy. This isn't just like a visit. We're going to have some events and conversations. So it's any thought. Oh, what if we don't talk about this? What if we miss this? No, no. I mean, this is. I told Frank, like, let go and let God. This is kind of like another version of that, saying, you're only controlling so much that's happening here too. There is also this Page of Pentacles. I feel like everybody needs to do a job and career check-in, and maybe that is a non-threatening way to kind of, weasel into some of the more personal issues or health issues or emotional things, is to kind of start with job and money and let the conversation go from there. Mm-hmm. There is also this card that is only part of this deck called Tiny Elephants, and it's all about perspective. And so when you were saying before, like, oh, my son, he's my baby, but he's 25, and people say, well, he did it this, because of this, and I say, no, it's because of this. There's a lot of that happening. And for this card to come up, it's saying that a lot of people are going to have new perspectives on each other. And so when you look at your children, you say, well, this is the order that they're in. This one's, has their stuff together. This one maybe not so much. This one needs to mature. Whatever these things are, I feel like everyone is going to look at each other differently after this visit, and probably with more appreciation, because that's kind of what this
would be good.
That would be nice.
Mom won't be around forever.
For the one, you spoke about your daughter, and you said that you have a lot of similarities, but that she also has a bipolar issue, and so that's not something you share, but it's something that you kind of have to navigate. So 2 reversed cards coming up, because again, these are kind of conversations that haven't been had yet. So all of these cards are coming up reversed, saying, for your consideration. We're pulling a reversed 2 of Cups or a reversed 2 of Chalices. This this confirms what you're saying in terms of your being very much alike. It also shows that you have the potential to be each other's best friends.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yes, you need to learn how to kind of manage all of her stuff. There is also a reversed Six of Cups. And so what the Six of Cups talks about, it often talks about children. And in this deck, the Six of Cups talks about how do you create rituals of self-care and rituals of care for others when they have habits or situations that really get under your skin. And so what this card is saying is there are going to be times where she's going to trigger you, you know, like you're super close and here's the person who can kind of like get under your skin the most and find the one area that like you thought you were good and suddenly you're like, God, I needed more compassion there. You know, honor that is kind of the role that she plays in your life. When we think about like our spirit family and how are they here to help us evolve. And so don't look at those differences and those issues as things that you have to change. Think of them as ways in which you are kind of helping each other grow and evolve. And when like the hot button comes up, it's like, well, whatever her resolution is, that's completely and it's completely different and separate from the healing that occurs within you when you get provoked, and then you have to figure out how to deal with that. That's her. You spoke about your son. And you said he's like 25. The Tower card showed up like on its side. So he's going to have his Saturn return preview around 27. Whatever his main issues are going to be that like really need to be dealt with, by age 27 he's going to see them, and by like 28, 29 he's going to be right in the thick of dealing with them. And so at this moment, this is the kind of time where you as a parent can sniff out some things and instill some positive, support and habits so that when that moment comes. And the thing that it's showing me that he doesn't really know how to do, this reversed Empress, is saying he doesn't know how to show himself compassion. And there is also a sense of what popped into my mind is like, romantic relationships and breakups, that he tends to look for this in his romantic relationships rather than within himself. And if he goes through like a rash of like, bad breakup one after the other, that could kind of set him up for feeling bad about himself in life.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Knowing that is potentially the issue, you have good intuition, what kind of conversations to have. And then you said it was one more daughter, you said, that's like younger? Okay.
Yep.
So here's what came up for her. And again, reversed hasn't happened yet. I know you said the older daughter is the one that like, you kind of have, you're similar, and so you kind of can lock horns a bit. I feel like this daughter is the one that's going to throw you a real curved ball, because this is an awesome combination that's coming up. You have a reversed Five of Wands. This is the child that is smart beyond their years, is going to be an expert in whatever they put their mind to, and it's not going to give a flying you-know-what about your name, your title, your authority. If they think they know as much as you do, they're like, hey, we're equal. I'm not going to be down here. Yep. And the other thing that it's another card that's unique to this deck, and I'll flip it upside. It's called the Winged Boar. When pigs fly. That's what this card is. And so you have this person who is so smart and so capable and so confident, and boy, they can get themselves into some situations that are far beyond them just because of this advanced capability.
Mm-hmm.
This When Pigs Fly card, this is the card that says, For some people, the impossible is possible. For other people, the impossible is just that. It's a delusion.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we need to grasp with this one. And this kind of combination means that you may not ever really know. This may be the kid who just, somehow, whether they think they're intuitive or not, they end up in the right place at the right time, and boom, something magical happens, and you go, well, yeah, great.
Yep.
Yeah,
He is that way, yes.
But yeah, that one's gonna be I love the Pig's Fly card. That is one of my favorites. Here is the thing that it's saying in terms of you deciding. There is some sort of decision, Two of Swords, that you need to make, and the decision that you are making has to do with Nine of Pentacles, a future job move or job opportunity, as related to this Six of Wands. Are you visiting or moving? And I said this was like a theme. Are you visiting or moving someplace that has to do with family? And is there some sort of like work situation that needs to be accommodated for, or a new job that would allow more flexibility? But that is a conversation that may also come up, and this Two of Swords says that it is purely your decision. And this, we started with the Wheel of Fortune, so it's kind of saying, hey, the universe is watching over this conversation to begin with. We already said open up talking about people's job stuff, and that's how you're going to get to like the meat and potatoes of what everyone needs to add to the conversation. But there's a decision there that belongs to you. And again, being as intuitive as you are, there's nothing in here that says, and here's what to do about it. It's not necessary, but just know that there's an important decision that's coming, so that you know to look out for the signs.
Luckily, with my job, I can take it anywhere. As long as there's internet, it don't matter.
That is a true blessing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But unfortunately, the way the it's more the schools are doing things, it's causing some issues. Like there's a new law in Colorado now where they're something about private schools, which even like Colorado Technical University is a private school, and they're not allowed to like take letters of credit from companies and things like that, and that's how they pay for their, they pay up front for their employees to go to school.
Right.
And they're having a problem with that, and something about that. And then there was something in Florida kind of the same way. So things are going really weird. And another part of our business is daycares.
Oh, wow.
And they're cutting, funding to state funding for daycares, which our daycares are quite expensive. It's Bright Horizons. They're quite expensive.
Right.
But they're also they're more like a private school academy type thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, that, and then we have elder care, things like that, which might come in handy for us one day. But, it's, that's one of those things that could hit our whole industry pretty hard if they keep cutting.
I mean, I think there are so many systems that are just kind of broken.
Mm-hmm.
Education right now, needs to be rebuilt from the ground up.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even just the content and the fact that we have so much access to information now. It's the infrastructures, the school buildings that, are just kind of dilapidated, that only exist for so many generations, and, teachers not having basic supplies for classrooms and stuff. And, and to say nothing of higher education, how expensive and unsustainable that has gotten. But you know, we as a society, like, the internet came and now we have all this information, and all of these industries are now expected to know more and do more. Even the very youngest children, they're in daycare, and those daycares are expected now to be more like schools, to have,
Oh
more
yeah,
things in
yeah.
place, to have more credentials for the staff. It's not just like, oh, you're dropping off your kid at some place down the street. It's now parents are like, well, I want them to learn another language, and I want them to have this.
Yep.
Yep. I've been asked that question.
Yeah.
Do they expose the children to other cultures, other religions, other, and for some parents that's don't do that, and for some it's I want them exposed to everything so they can choose what path they
Absolutely.
want, because my path may not be theirs. And I've always been that way with my kids. I, of course, just like I grew up, sent them to church when they were little because that was fun for them. That was their play dates. That was their, whatever. But if they chose to veer away from that later on in life, okay, that's not my decision. That's yours. You have to live with it, not me. So, and so I have one that she really didn't have a path. So she started following my path, which is not how she was raised. And then the other one has followed Christianity, which nobody gets mad about, any of it. But, and then my son is Eastern Shawnee and Cherokee. The only white he's got in him is me. And so he's more, spiritual. So it's like, we have everything in this family. And everybody respects everybody's and will ask questions. Why do you think this? Why do you think that? And my answer to them all is, I think that there's just one huge creator. I don't care what you call him.
Yeah.
Or her, whatever. But there's guides along the way, whether you want to call them gods, goddesses, your guides, your family, it doesn't matter.
I agree. I feel like, my vision of God and the spiritual, it's really just kind of like a cosmic lump of Play-Doh that you can kind of go like this and rip off a piece and call it what you want.
Yeah. We all go back to the same energy. And to me, we make a soul contract to come back if that's what we want to do. And if you don't, you, I guess, have a choice to become an angel or a spirit guide or whatever you want to do. But to me, the reason we're here is the choice we made. And we're either helping someone else or someone's helping us. And that's the reason they came into our lives in the first place. And whether it's our kids, him. Why? Why did I do that? What the hell am I supposed to teach you, damn it?
Twice, too. Once when we were kids, and now now we're back. So.
But yeah, it's, in explaining that to them, you can take that as Christianity or you can take it as, whatever, as long as you understand that we all understand there is a higher power. Yes. I mean, we don't think we just got here from amoebas.
Right.
But, science would tell you different, but whatever.
Hey, we might find out in the end.
Yeah.
And that's it. That we will not know anything until we're done.
It's really hard to discount anyone's belief because none of us really know. Even those who claim to be the deepest of deep religious people, no matter what their faith is, we truly just do not know. At the end of the day, it could be a 3-foot Martian that is in charge of this all, and it's really going to shock us all. Okay, I mean, we're going to come to find out Yoda was the creator, and what are we going to do?
Okay, so the funniest story. There was this guy that had a motorcycle accident.
Not me.
No. In New Mexico. And he would come to me when I first got in the paranormal and he goes, what are you thinking? And I'm Like, what? And he said, all right, let's go outside. He'd take me outside at work. I worked at a gas station. He said, what do you see? The parking lot? What? He said, but is that really what's here? I said, what in the hell are you talking about right now? He said, that might be what you see. But is that really what exists? And he never elaborated. He said, just know whatever you see, you cannot unsee. Make sure you're ready. I'm like, okay. And then he told me a story where he had died for over 10 minutes. They tried to resuscitate him. For over 10 minutes, you should not have all your brain function. You shouldn't have any of your brain function. But he remembers his death. And he remembers going into what he calls a spaceship. I don't know what it was. But these alien-looking creatures were there the whole time he was dead. And he said they were standing like 7-8 foot tall. And they were communicating telepathically, which I understand that. You know, apparently in the next world, you don't have to talk. So they were communicating. He said, you know, people tell you they see their bodies, they have these feelings. He said, I had no feelings, none. I didn't feel hot. I didn't feel cold. I didn't think about my kids. Nothing. I was just focused on him or her or whatever it was. He said, and we were telepathically communicating. He said, but when I came back, I do see things you don't. I said, oh? He said, what you see here as gas pumps and the parking lot, he said, it's not what's really here. Just be careful. He said, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I'm like, Matrix? What are you talking about? I never got clarification on that, but I never forgot it either.
Wow. I mean, sure, that is something we don't know. I mean, you know, we think we're having this conversation right now and that we have some kind of shared reality, and you know, we're just assuming like, oh, if I was in your room or you were in my room, everything would sync up and we would, but like, maybe that's not true at all.
Right.
I don't know.
I wonder, the only thing I can chalk it up to is I wonder if he's between, he can see through the veil, beyond both worlds.
That is what I was thinking. He probably see. I mean, every once in a while, I feel like you know, you get a glimpse, and I will say, because we touched on it briefly, but especially like nursing homes, elder care type places where there are lots of people who are aging and about to pass away or have passed away. You know, my grandmother was in a nursing home at one point, and I just remember walking in and being like, "Oh, there are lots."
Yep.
Never seen anything like it, but that particular place, it was like there were so many spirits just like hovering around, waiting, you know, watching. It was wild.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a heavy feeling. You get into a place like that, it's a very heavy feeling.
Right.
Yeah, that's one thing that her and I both have in similarity, is that we both cooked for you know, nursing homes, and this is way before I had any idea about any of this stuff. You know, I mean, this is 30 years ago that I worked at one. So, but well, I do remember it being a very heavy feeling, but I knew that, you know, there were people who were coming into the kitchen that I may never see again. You know, there was a little old man that I used to get in trouble all the time because he would come in and ask for some graham crackers. Well, he wasn't a resident of this home, and so they didn't want him to have the graham crackers, you know? And I'm like, kiss my butt. And I gave him graham crackers every time, you know? I don't care. Write me up for it. It's a graham cracker. I still to this day think about it. If I would have got fired over graham crackers, that would have been a really funny story. Probably the second funniest story I have, you know, when it comes to work issues, you know. But so, you have anything else, my dear?
No.
No? Lynn, uh, Do you have anything coming up in the next little while that you want to promote?
Do I?
Yeah.
Next month? Wait, what is coming up? Was it the chili thing that we talked about
Oh
earlier?
yeah,
No.
yeah. No, I was wondering if you
No.
had anything coming up. Do you have any events, or are you going to be doing anything?
Not anything virtually. Next week I have the New York City Small Business Networking event that I'm going to go to and meet some people. But no, right now this is I'm moving into, it's spring, but we're moving into summer, so it's, some more outdoors event, more entertainment type things. Um, so yeah, just kind of gearing up for that. I am going on a Reiki retreat the first weekend in June that I'm really excited about because I've never been to a Reiki conference before. So they're going to be doing, people Reiki and animal Reiki and all that stuff. So, um, Jupiter in Leo last time around was really positive for me, honestly, in terms of, my tarot work and, just everything in general. Going really well, and so I'm trying to just position myself as well as I can so that if and when good things arrive, I can seize the opportunity. So fingers and toes crossed. 2026.
So on the Reiki event,
Yes.
there's going to be a lady with long brown hair.
Ooh, thank you. Wonderful. No. Yes. No.
Anyway,
Stay away. Okay.
whatever she's telling you to do, don't do it.
Interesting. Thank you.
She's about in her 50s,
Okay.
and she's not the instructor. She's just someone there.
Right. No, the
Try
instructor.
to do something, don't.
I'm so glad you're saying this because, I signed up for the event and it was, I hope you don't mind that we're going over a little bit, Zach.
No, 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 no.
Right. It was one of these, I was just on my computer and I saw on my screen some kind of link for a podcast. I have like a squirrel's attention span. I almost never watch podcasts unless someone tells me to do it. And so I just happened upon this podcast where this gentleman was talking about his Reiki practice. And for a split second, I thought he was sitting in my old kitchen in Long Island. It turns out he lives in Long Island, but it's just, the wainscoting and the paint. It's probably because, like, everyone goes to the same Home Depot. But I had this weird moment of feeling like he sat in a place I used to live. And he has a Reiki deck of cards, which I immediately bought and started working in with my tarot, and it's going really well. But I just had, like spirit kind of chimed in and said, hey, this is your guy, go to the conference. And when that happens, it's such a, comes out of nowhere and doesn't want to let go until you do the thing. So I paused the video. I, registered for this conference. What have I gotten myself into? And everything I know about the place and the people, everything looks fantastic. But I've had this like little sneaking suspicion that there was going to be something there that I either wasn't going to like or wasn't going to be prepared for. I even reached out to the instructor trying to like do some research, like, hey, this is my experience that people, have Reiki and they react like this, but like sometimes there are some toxic reactions. What is your experience? And I'm trying to sniff around to be like, is there drama at this place? Do y'all know how to handle this? Like, whatever. And everything that he gave me reaffirmed my good vibes around him. Like, yes, this is the person I'm meant to be learning from, but thank you for saying that because now I know that my intuition really is onto something.
Yeah, when you see her, you're going to know.
Look like so great.
Well,
if her name's Courtney, run.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you a question since we're getting into with what she was just doing. How is your study on the mediumship going? How is that coming along?
Oh gosh, it's really interesting. So I told you earlier that I had that conversation with my mother that suddenly,
Oh, that's a wonderful story. If you wouldn't mind, I'd love for you to share that again.
yeah, yeah. So, I talked to my mother earlier this week, and, that side of the family, staunch Irish Catholics. And so any of this, psychic work, tarot, mediumship, they very traditional beliefs. And they also have the belief that if somebody unalives themselves, that's it. Fire and brimstone, that soul is lost. And in the family, we have had a few people who have passed on that way. And so, of course, the family has been feeling very deeply bad about those things. And long story short, I had a cousin pass away earlier this year in that very tragic way. And, you know, my cousin's wife and children, they're grieving. It's a really tough situation. The family checks in, but grief is very private. And so you can't, other than to make sure somebody's not alone, you can't really insert yourself too much. Well, through the family grapevine, turns out that my cousin's wife went to a psychic medium. And my cousin came through in the reading. And, of course, his wife had questions, why did you do this? Did you ever think of not doing this? And he said, the whole time leading up to, I was thinking, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, which is, of course, classic, mental illness has reached that breaking point where someone just can't reason and pull themselves out anymore. So, that was one question she had, and then she said, did you suffer? And the medium said that my cousin said, no, I didn't suffer. At the moment it happened, there was this very, very old elderly woman that came through and said, don't worry, I've got you. You're going to be fine. And as soon as we heard this story, every single one of us, myself included, said, that was Nana. That was my great-grandmother, because she's around all of us. All of us have stories about her coming to visit and contact and dreams or whatever, so we know she's watching over everybody. So this, session really lifted this person's spirits, and she's starting to kind of, make contact with the family again, and everyone's kind of noticing the shift. Well, my mother hears this story, and of course, my dad passed away in 2012, and so that was kind of the big heartbreak in our family. You know, she feels as though she's been contacted by my father, and so does my brother, and I definitely have, so it's not really a thing that we're wondering about. But now you have this core Catholic belief that has been demolished now. And now the family is saying not one, but two children that we believed were like lost and gone for good in hell somewhere, they're fine. And they can reach out and we can communicate and they're still here with us. And so my mother said that she feels as though she has had a spiritual awakening. And then that led her to consider what I do. And we're very open. I tell her, hey, I'm, on this mediumship journey, and I've been reading tarot cards, so she knows what I do. But I think because it goes against the religious beliefs of the family, they've kind of held it at a distance.
Oh, yeah.
And so my mother, for the first time in all the years I've been doing this, my mother Googled me, and she read reviews of people who have had tarot readings with me. So many of whom are people that are part of the Community Pay It Forward family and Z's networking group. And she said that she read those reviews and now she understands why I do what I do, because it helps people. And she says that she feels as though God approves, and she does too. And I was just like, what? It's Tuesday. Where did this come from?
So,
Woof.
Okay.
And it's one of the, and here's the kicker. my mother's a very intuitive person, right? So she hears this story about the psychic medium, she does the Googling or whatever, and then she goes to church the next morning. And the sermon was all talking about, when people are suffering and they're dying and about how God never leaves them. And so that was her confirmation that the Catholic Church is wrong on this one. And she's right, is the message she got while sitting in the Catholic Church. So, like, you can't even.
My argument with my best friend, who is Catholic, my argument is, I understand they don't pray to Mary, but they hold her as in high regard as they do God.
Yes.
The Bible says there will be no other God before me. And that's my argument with my friend. But in all reality, we have no idea. We know Jesus existed. Of course he did. But who was he really? Who knows? But so the next thing you got to practice in your mediumship, pull up a picture of somebody, anybody, pull it up on Facebook. Look in their eyes. As long as you can see their eyes, what do you get? And do it as a random, somebody you don't know.
Yep. Okay.
And then go through their Facebook and see if you were right.
Ooh, I like it.
About how they were, how they feel. Mm-hmm. If you want, I can send you pictures of people.
Ooh.
That I know.
Okay.
And see what you get from them. Because in all reality, the cards that you're reading is the same thing. It's spirit talking to you through the cards. That's just how you're getting your message. You can also get it from someone's eyes. That is the mirror to their soul.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I can read people. I have to see their eyes.
Wow.
And I think you're going to be the same way. And if somebody says, please read, read me, or read so-and-so, my uncle, whatever, send me a picture. That's what I always say. I need a picture.
Yeah, because right now, if I can feel a presence that is in the room, and if I close my eyes, I know that there's a presence in the room because what I see is like a little spark of light. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's like a white spark or a red spark or a green spark, like they're different colors, but that's when I know the presence is like definitely there. And sometimes if I'm reading tarot, I'll like see the spark in my line of vision that's like, okay, something's here. But I'm not at the point yet where I am accurate on like, well, who was this? Were they male or female? And how old were they? And all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so for that,
trying to like narrow down so that people know.
For that, go to a grocery store, go to somewhere public where people stand in a line. Don't look behind you, but you know there's someone behind you. If they're not talking, stop and think, male or female. And then you feel them, male or female, and then look.
Oh, this is easy. This is like my next train ride. I'm going to be right up on somebody.
Yeah, and then look.
Yeah.
And so if you'll know what a male feels like and you'll know what a female feels like after you do that a few times. As long as they're not talking, of course.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, that's how I learned that.
Thank you.
And then after a while, like sometimes, all of a sudden you see it in your mind. It's not really there, but you see it in your mind that there's someone behind you. And you can picture what they look like, what they're wearing, what their facial expressions look like, and what they're trying to get across to you. That is weird. When that happens, you're like, am I schizophrenic? What is going on right now? I told Zach one day, I said, there is somebody standing at our freezer. And he's wearing this and this and this and this, and he's looking for his newborn child. Or maybe even unborn child. I don't know. 2 months later, I say, that same guy was standing at our bed.
Wow.
And he's like 10 years older. And he's got red hair. And, I explained the whole thing.
Interesting.
this is something that has got to be somebody who came through here when this was farmland, because this was like 1920s stuff.
Right, right.
Never seen him again. He never said a word when he was standing behind me at our bed. And never seen him again.
Oh, this is so fascinating.
But it's things like that you keep remembering, like, what did they need? What did they want? What did I miss?
Or were they time traveling to now just to kind of scope it out? It's amazing. Like,
Yeah, it's so strange. And your first gut instinct is correct. You can't question it. One of my friends who is a psychic medium, and I mean paid psychic medium, one day she calls me and says her friend died. And he was a cop. And, you know, this is when we first got together. And we're talking. And I said, what does peanuts mean? She's the one that taught me mediumship. And I said, I just got the word peanuts. She goes, you're joking, right? And I said, well, you told me to say whatever comes up.
Yep.
She goes, he used to call me and have me find his wallet because he lost it. And I could remote view. And she said, he would tell me, I can't pay you, but I can pay you in peanuts. And I was like, okay, so that makes sense. Gotcha.
Yep.
I remember your reaction to that.
That was the
So-
first time what? So I was right? But she taught me. And that's why I'm telling you the same things. Yeah.
So, well, you know what? I appreciate the story about your mom. I can see the joy and in you when you're talking about that, and I think that's one of the reasons why I was so excited in the meeting when you said that story, is because you could feel how much that meant to you. You know, that acceptance and that stuff. You could tell how much that meant to you. And
So what you're saying is you're an empath and you refuse to acknowledge that. Okay.
well, I'm saying that I was happy for her.
You wouldn't know that unless you were an empath.
So, but and you know, I appreciate you sharing that story, and I would love for your mom to join us sometime and come
Do
on
not
here.
push that. Do
Oh, I
not
wouldn't push it.
that.
I'm just
Do
saying.
Remember that pig's fly card we had before?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but hey, we do want to remind everybody this happens the third Wednesday of every month. Please come and join us next month. And we will be here, and Lynn will answer your questions. And we can do more reading than we did talking, even though I really enjoyed the conversations we had today. So,
It does help for people to understand where it comes
yeah, very much. Very much, yeah, because I remember our first conversations, all I could do was sit there and go, huh? And I did that a lot because
Now, mind you, one of our first conversations, our first date together after we were grown, in a motel room, and this man hears his name being called after we were just at a Masonic temple, and he hears his name being called and goes, yeah, I don't know what that was. It woke you up. You don't know what that was? You brought something home is what that was.
yeah, what woke me up was hearing my name being yelled and my arm
And you
being
thought
yanked.
it was me.
Yeah.
And it damn sure was not. I was asleep.
Listen, it's a real thing when you know, people gather together and they're both intuitive, they amp each other up. And like that sounds exactly like just kind of you guys coming together and Adrian's intuition amping up your intuition. And
But he refused. Oh, no, I don't know what it was. It was a dream. It was a dream. I don't know what it was.
No,
Okay.
I still, you know what, like I said, I still to this day, I'm not going to discount it. I'm not going to say it was nothing. I am also going to say that, you know what, my mind was wide open to suggestion. You know, I mean, we just were at a ghost hunt, you know, I mean, Hell, I've had dreams when I'm listening to a book about gangsters that I was a gangster. So, but I will never, I don't want to ever say
Did
that.
gangsters pull your arm?
Well, one of them did. He was mean. But I also got taken over by a midget pirate once. Never mind.
Schizophrenic? Do we need to go?
Oh, that was a funny dream. I woke up laughing on that one.
Okay.
But, oh God, that was so funny. I still to this day.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll never say that it's not that, and that's the reason why I'm open to every. I tell people I am not religious. I'm not religious at all. I am curious about all religions.
You're spiritual, not religious.
Yeah, well, I'm very spiritual. I absolutely believe that, like you said, I believe that there's something bigger than myself.
God, I hope so.
Well, that's getting harder and harder, though. There's not going to be many things bigger than me. So the moon's going to look at me and go, damn. But
When you can control that, you let me know.
yeah, well, you know what? As soon as we get this neck thing figured out. But yeah, I think it's, what you were talking about the people not wanting to have their kids exposed to different religions and stuff like that. It upsets me so much because I could never understand why somebody would want to be exactly like themselves. Okay,
Because they think their way is right.
but you can never learn anything from yourself.
But if you think you're right, you're not going to want to.
Well, if you think you're right, you're not smart. You can't ever think that you shouldn't ever think that you know it all.
Solid.
Shouldn't.
Remember that, okay?
Shouldn't ever think that you know it all. But I mean, I can learn anything and everything from you. That's why I want you to be different. That's why I need you to be different, so I can learn stuff from you.
You've got it all on film, Adrian. Just, push.
All right, everybody. We're going to be, we'll go on ahead and get this shut down. Hey, once again, you did see earlier in the show before anybody else joined us, you did see our Be a Millionaire Day on Whatcha Got. It's our daily show, just trying to get your day started in a fun way where we introduce you to one of our partners, our either giving partners. Today was a friend of all of ours, Wendy Lyon, and she's the millionaire maker. So why not introduce her on a day where you be a millionaire? And the question again of the day is, what is that one thing that makes you feel like you have everything? And what's that one thing in your life that makes you rich, even if you don't have any money? And I think it's a great question. I really do. So tomorrow, we are going to have Global Accessibility Awareness Day. And we're going to be featuring our mission partner, Pieces of Me. So stay tuned for that. It's it's just we're putting people together and we're trying to start your day off thinking about something else. So and I enjoy doing them, and hopefully you enjoy hearing them. And there's also a tie-in right now to Mental Health Awareness Month, because this right now is a time when we need to be watching other people. As we've already heard, Lynn, you were talking about an unfortunate fact that you lost a family member to this despicable scourge, that's going on. So, do either of you ladies have anything else to say?
Good night.
Oh, we going to bed? All right. So, Lynn?
Full moon end of the month. Watch out for that. Otherwise, I will see everyone next.
Charge crystals.
Charge the crystals, exactly.
Geez, we got a lot of unloading to do, huh?
I know.
So, And for me, I just want to remind everyone, please make sure that you're helping someone, because if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. No one ever needs to go it alone when we all come together. Please love someone out there because someone out here loves you. Thank you very much. For Lynn, for Frank, for my dearest wife, I'm Zak Clayton, President and Founder, Community Pay It Forward, the Come Together Compass, and pACT Podcasting, saying thank you very much. Join us next week when our friend Aviva has her show, and we continue talking about how to make other people's lives better. Thank you very much. Please make sure that you're out there helping people. Folks, we're all we got. We need to come together to make this happen. Thank you very much.
Bring me home, out alone. You show me the way. You wanna hold the heart of Sunset Boulevard.